Hey everybody, I am January.
And I'm Marz. Hey.
And welcome to FEMMES LRG Presents Femininity and whatever we want to talk about. Today we're going to talk about femininity and TERFs.
Dun dun dun.
It's a lot to dig in there. But before we get started with that, we're going to get into some media. Marz, what are some things that you've been seeing, things you want to tap into?
Yes, I think first on the docket for sure. Since currently, as we record this, the Olympics are going on. How long are the Olympics? Is that like a
It's like 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. They always make it seem like
Yeah.
it's so much longer, but it's because like all the Olympians live in squalor. Anyway, every time I see their videos, I'm like, I'm so sad for these kids. Like, why are they living like this? But like, why do they put them in those kids? It just always looks like no matter where they are. Like Japan, it was horrible. Here in France, it's horrible. Like they got no AC, it's bugs everywhere. But what I wanted to talk about specifically is Simone Biles. Like, give it up for the
Yay,
queen,
Simone.
the people's
Yes.
princess. Literally, do you know how many gold she got just this time around? She's been eating.
Is what, like 6?
No way.
Am I making this up? Let's see. Is
She's
it
the
more?
most decorated. Damn, this is when producer Biles would be so clutch. But she is
Right.
currently the most decorated American gymnast of all time. No one is touching her. So while she is like really like relishing and living in this moment of clearing and eating at the Olympics,
Yeah.
a certain someone who had something to say about her at one point or another, I believe it was 2013 or it was around the last Olympics, Japan, when Simone had backed out because she had, from what I understand now, it's called the twisties. It's where essentially if you're a gymnast or something of that in that line of work, your brain and your body just stop communicating. And even though you know how to do it, you've done it a million and 1,000 times, your body is just not cooperating. Excuse me. So she experienced that on one of her events that she had to do, and she had a pretty bad fall. If she had spun any harder or anything like that, I don't understand the physics, but she probably could have died, broken her neck, or gotten seriously injured to some degree. So she decided, I'm not gonna do this year. I'm backing out. She backed out of all of her events. She stayed there to cheer the girls on, but she didn't continue any of her events with Team USA, which was a smart decision because we would not have this moment now had she tried to push through and perform on behalf of America. America is not. This is her body we're talking about. Like she's like, I'm not. This ain't the NFL. I'm not about to just give myself CTE for the sake of y'all. Like, I'm so sorry. And so someone at the time by the name of Michaela Spinner took that as, which many white women do whenever a black person, specifically a black woman, decides to make a decision for themselves and for the greater good of just them. She made comments that she felt that it was lazy and things of that nature, just like had a lot of stuff to say when Simone had originally backed out. So now that she's back, and not only is she's so like she's I don't understand any of this stuff, but she is doing things that should not be possible for the human body, and she's killing. And
3 gold medals.
Okay.
Yeah, 3 gold medals so far in this Olympics and 7 gold overall. She has a total of 10 Olympic medals. So 7 gold, 1 silver, and 2 bronze.
Okay. Things that Michaela would never touch, never dream of. But Miss Michaela Skinner, I feel like I'm saying it wrong. It's either Skinner or Spinner. I unfortunately don't care. But Michaela, because she had all that to say way back when, Simone decides, I'm going to spin the block because it's, you know what I'm saying? It's what you got to say now, essentially. I love that for her. I love that for the queens, for the black girls that are like, I remember everything that you said about me.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make you eat your words. Like, I love that Angel is like that. I love that she's like that. Like, and people can call it cocky, you can call it whatever, but like, even with LeBron, like, I'm so sorry. If you're at that level of athleticism, you have to talk to me nicely. I'm so sorry. You have to adjust the way that you speak to me because I'm producing the results. It'd be one thing if she was just yapping, and she wasn't bringing home any any of the gold, but she is quite literally doing so. 3 in 1 Olympics is like insane. So
it's crazy.
So yeah, she went to go check, and she tweeted. I saw Simone tweet, "Uh-oh, looks like I'm blocked." And I went, "Who's she being messy about?" right? I said, "Who's she being messy about right now?" So I did a little investigative journalism, and found that this video existed. That Michaela was, you had all of this to say, and I guess knew that this was coming. Her day of reckoning was coming, so preemptively blocked Simone. So Simone went to go check, and she said, "Oh, I'm blocked." And so the rest of the girls on Team USA for the Olympics all blocked that girl in solidarity.
And that's how you do it. And that's how you do it.
Yeah. So just when you thought you were that girl, just when you thought you had a friend, yeah. So I just love that. And there's like a whole conversation about, because it really only ever happens with Black women, like the whole like needing to be humble and things of that nature. And I get it to a certain degree. If she was talking down on other people, that would be one thing. But she's just really good, and she knows she's really good. So I don't see... But what are your thoughts? Did this pass your timeline? Did you...
It briefly passed my timeline. I remember just thinking, why? Like, why are we doing this? But, like, it's to be expected. The fact that Black women, or even just Black people in general, aren't... like encouraged to find rest and like have like an analysis of their emotions and their mental abilities. Like even just like I feel like Simone's been very open, especially this Olympics, about her therapy and like the things that she's been struggling with, and even just dealing with the anxieties of like being at the Olympic Village and like people coming up for her autograph and stuff. Like I appreciate the vulnerability. I appreciate the self-awareness. And so just kind of when I heard about it, it was kind of fleeting on my timeline, but I just was like, it's to be expected. But I'm really proud of Simone. I'm happy that she's winning and in a good space doing it too, because you could always win and not be in a good space mentally.
Right.
But yeah, it's just like, why are we hating? Like, bro, like, come on now. But it wouldn't be America if we didn't hate or disrespect people of color. So hey. It is what it is. It is
Clock
what
that
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'm so proud of her, and
me too.
I don't feel that she needs to be humble. She is literally the best, as she lives and breathes right now. And there are a few girls, because she was saying, there's a lot of girls that like have me on my toes. Actually, like she was like, it's very competitive because she is continuing to raise her own bar, which is forcing everyone else to then match that new level. So as she currently stands and lives and breathes, she is the best of all time. I'm sorry, I would talk my shit. So sorry.
Yeah. I feel like when you're creating different moves and like they're judging you based
named
off
after
of shit
you
that's never been done before, like I just I don't even know. I don't even know.
So we love Simone. Also,
shout out to Simone.
Did you want to talk about her husband?
Yeah. So essentially, I feel bad because you know what? I think people deserve the right to change their mind. I think one of my favorite YouTubers, I can't think of their name right now. Why am I blanking? Khadijah Bow. They're really good, but they always say reserve the right to change your mind. You can, and I feel like we've seen growth with him. So essentially, like people have been showing video of. Right, people have been showing him taking notes during Simone's runs, like count up the scores, and just some history. He was like blasted virally because of him critiquing how him and Simone first met. He said that he didn't even really know who she was before they met. And it was just, the way he did it just was very disrespectful. Like, granted, okay, I guess technically you may have not known, because, football players, it is possible to a degree, unfortunately. I've been around them. But, like, to basically, like, because, like, they're just not, it's just not all the way, you know what I'm saying? Not all of them. Some of them are really, really
like I said,
smart
that
and
CTE
intellectual
is a
and
mother
great.
effort. So, hey,
but,
you might be right.
But the way he did it was just so disrespectful, and it just was like, that's your wife. Like, can we just have a little bit more respect on the global stage, because she is actually going to be, at that time, we didn't know it, but she was going to be the most decorated gymnast ever.
Right.
But, you know, they blasted him, and he's now a little bit better. He's changed of heart. He's taking pictures, showing, oh my God, I'm so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And one of the things that sparked something was him holding her gold medals, like, oh my God, this is so raw, or whatever, to that effect. And a TikToker went in and was just like going off on him and just like, wow, like, just not too long ago, you know, you were disrespecting her, blah, blah. And then Simone commented on the TikTok. So Simone really been having that energy.
One thing about her man. One thing about her man. Listen.
Bro, it was like she wasn't playing any games, came on there.
She's not.
And I'll send the footage or the screenshot to Miles, but basically, she was just calling the TikToker out, like, you know, this was so old, we moved past this, like, you know, y'all are so fucking annoying or whatever. And the TikToker apologized. So I'm gonna look at the nuance of it, right? That's the whole gist of it.
Right.
One, people deserve the chance to change their mind, and maybe, you know, it's okay to be reflective and be like, you know what, I should be a better partner, because I think we've all had moments like that to a degree, hopefully, unless you're a narcissist, and that's you know, possible as well. But also, bullying works. I don't know. Like, I don't know if he would have really, like...
Trust the signs.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, now, it's not always good to bully, but I think
sometimes.
It worked. And, you know, even if this is just for PR, it worked. I'm sorry. You don't need to disrespect the most decorated gymnast in the world. And she's a black woman. It's a big deal. So...
It is.
Yeah, it's a big deal. But also, I think, you know, like... I think we can give him a pass now. He's learned his ways. He's being a better partner in the public. Let's hope it's happening in private as well. Marz, what are your thoughts?
You know, as far as it comes to men, I personally, and that's just me, I may forgive, but I won't forget. So just know, you know, you did you ate that one little thing, you know, you being there for your
right.
girl, being a good trophy husband and things of that nature.
Right.
But the North remembers, and that's just what it's going to have to be.
That's
but if
fair.
she's happy, if you like it, I love it, girl.
And that's where we got to be at with some of these people.
If you like it, I love it.
We love it. And
like with Hallie, after a certain point, you just got to be like, I love that for you, friend.
I do.
I love that for you.
Adorable. That baby's
so
adorable.
cute.
You see that baby?
And you know what? He's been doing good. He's been doing good.
Yeah, he's been doing good.
Yeah.
I have thoughts, but I'm gonna keep it and save it for when the time is right.
Yeah, that's the baby's happy. The baby's healthy. She's happy. She's healthy. He seems to be contributing. He looks very happy with them.
That's it. That's all. Yeah. Whew. But yeah, friends. So that's all on Simone Biles. Next topic we got is Kamala Harris becoming the nominee for the Democratic Party going into the 2024 election. Me and Marz were together when when we got the news of Joe Biden dropping out. Marz, how did you feel? I know how I felt. How did you feel?
Y'all, cause it's just like, with fucking months left until the presidential election is when you back out, cause you got embarrassed by, and it was a bad debate all around, but he was embarrassed. The team was embarrassed. It looked bad. He was unwell because he's old as shit. And no, Trump is not far behind, but unfortunately for all of us, he still has his wits about him. Okay? It would be a different story if they were both on the same level. But unfortunately, one of them is experiencing a decline faster than the other. That, be it genetics, what have you. But I was so pissed off. Because it's just like, it's pride, it's selfishness, it's you putting continuously Democrats putting themselves before the needs of the people. We could have all rallied together and found a candidate that actually you know, within if he would have just not decided to rerun, but we all always assume that it's the only choice we have. I was pissed, and it's a multi-layered, complex, difficult thing to be a part of, because it's like, here we have someone that, by association, by being under the Biden administration for the past 4 years, has been a part of directly supporting a genocide. And we all have to either just be cool with that, because the opposite side is that and then some.
Yeah.
That was timed perfectly.
Right. Look at God.
So it's just, and I see a lot of discourse on people that are like on the fence, or like, it's just so much shaming going on, where it's just like, you have to just be cool with either having a warlord or having a warlord that never wants to leave.
Warlord light.
Yeah, warlord, or die a warlord.
It's literally, because it's like, it's really frustrating, because it's always, even before he dropped out, it was that discussion of vote for Biden because Trump is in the election and you don't want Project 2025. And that's valid. Like, Project 2025 would suck, but at the same time, too, like, that's not helping to hold the Democratic Party accountable and for them to make moves like this. My response when I saw the tweet, because I thought it was fake, I had to check to make sure it was actually his account, and then I got really stressed out, and I was just like, y'all, because I think Marz, we were at the beach, and Marz was at the water. I said, Marz, this man dropped out. She's like, what? And we literally, I just got really stressed out, and I got scared. But then also, I'm like, wait, you know, like, this is good, but then also it's just like you said, like, it's infuriating because you're at this age. Now, we're not trying to be ageist at all, like, but at the same time, it's like,
maybe I am.
You weren't capable.
At this point, there's certain things you cannot do.
Yeah. We
saw the before and after of when Obama went in the first term and when he came out. That man aged 15 years at least in 4. They're aging in dog years over there. So you think at the prime age of, what is it, 86, 87, that you have the facilities and capabilities? Yeah, I'm being ageist.
I think they pushed him, though. You know, like, I don't think he really wanted to do it. I think the party pushed him instead of, like, being like, hey, let's look at, like, some of our younger candidates who are really making moves. It's like, no, we got to do Joe Biden because he's the best one, because he's moderate conservative at this point. Like, I don't really see Biden as progressive really at all to me. Like, but yeah, so. More
progressive than the other side, sure.
Yeah, for sure. But, like, also it's like the way that even the Democratic Party overall moves is not really enough to enact real change. It's just enough to, like, pacify people and to keep getting in office. And I'm actually tired of it, and which is why Kamala Harris being nominated, I'm not going to buy into the rhetoric that we had when Obama was being nominated and how we were basically hoodwinked later on. Bamboozled, led astray. I'm at the point now where I need her to effectively show me the ways in which she's going to handle confronting Israel, how she's going to handle the active recession that we are in, and how many of our people cannot afford housing. I also want her to fully address loan forgiveness, like, actually, like, putting in the work to show me that she's capable of the job. Now, of course, we don't want Trump in office, but at the same time, like, I'm not going to be gaslit into thinking that I have to vote for this person because she's a black woman, even though her being a prosecutor is very it's scary to me. I don't really see that as a win. I'm very nervous about that. And it needs to be addressed properly. Granted, I'm still doing research, and we'll definitely do an episode coming up on just Kamala and the pros and cons and just, like, the nuances of a black woman becoming president and what comes with that. But I'm also not going to be bullied by my community and by the respectable elites to vote for somebody just because it's the, quote, better option. I need her to actually work. And that's how I feel about it. How you feel, Marz? How you feel about it?
No, I completely agree. Like, the bullying and the gaslighting aspect, just because you don't stand for something doesn't mean the rest of us, like, feel that way. I was still in high school during Obama's first term, so of course I was looking at that with rose-colored glasses. Knowing what I know now as an adult, he was just as bad in terms of what went down in the Middle East. Horrible things. War crimes. In our name. The bomb sent over saying made in USA. Yep. I'm not cool with that. So sorry. Hate to be the fun police. Do you think you fell out of a coconut tree? Enough! I'm going to lose my mind. Enough. Find a different way to market to Gen Z. I've been holding that one in for a minute. If I see that woman laughing on my fucking phone that I pay for one more goddamn time, it will be everyone's problem. It will be everyone's problem. Like, and then I see black people that are dissecting and going into, like, all the prosecutions that she did, or most of the prosecutions that she did, that she was a part of, that put those black people away, and it's everyone going, they're still horrible people. Yeah, both things can be true. The laws that exist around, like, prison and the current prison industrial complex are borderline slavery. And she is funneling black people into that system. And those people can also be horrible, but still that whole system still needs to be changed. And she was an integral part of that. So it's like, we got to turn this on. I don't know. Like, I feel like right now, by having any sort of dissenting opinion is just saying that you're voting for Trump.
Right. Yeah.
And I hate that we're stuck in this situation of, like, right now, what even the fuck is her policy? What is her campaign? What is it? It's literally just, because you don't want Trump. What are you actually going to do if we do the work and get your ass in there?
Exactly.
None of us know. I haven't found a single person that actually knows what her fucking campaign is. The people that are fucking putting a gun to your head saying, don't you, Project 2025. Yeah, obviously that's horrible. But my issue is it all leads back to the Democratic Party, like you said, being yellow belly, complacent ass, like they do nothing. All they want to do is maintain the status quo. Exactly. And y'all fall into that shit every single goddamn time. And it's starting to make me feel a little crazy because it's like, how do I even put this into words? Like, the rhetoric that you guys are now forcing me into, it makes it seem as if I'm just like, the whole system does need to go down 100%. Yeah. Neither side is on our side. But you're making me agree with people that are also Republican. Do you understand? Yeah. Yeah. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that?
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that.
Yeah.
But maybe because we're all thinking that, then maybe one day the collective will, I don't know. I'm not making sense anymore.
I mean, until we are able to confront the way that capitalism has oppressed all of us, that's when it will happen. But because we have dumb layers of hierarchy that people play into for the small, split, brief satisfaction of being above somebody else, that is the only thing keeping it intact. Once that is gone, the system is no longer at all. But instead of prepping for that and prepping for a more equitable and like a better way of having us all live and commune, they keep just trying to press it down and like whatever. So I think at the end of the day, like, I know deep down we all want the same thing. We just want to be able to live. But the prejudice, the racism, like even gender we're gonna get into with talking about TERFs and like the small split second of like happiness I guess people get of like, oh, I'm better than this person, or feeling like whatever, like that is what's killing us. But we're gonna do a bigger we're gonna do like a deep dive on Kamala and really just like assessing things, because even with her prosecutorial career, like, you know, there's some myths there that we need to debunk, but there's also just like some things we have to really confront, and I'm excited to do that. So yeah, so we'll talk about that later. Do you still want to talk about NABJ and Trump?
Just let's sprinkle it.
Yeah, we'll sprinkle it in. So essentially, the NABJ, National Association for Black Journalists, it's really big. I know I followed them for a while, you know, just tapped in here and there, because you get some of your best journalists that are part of that. Jamel Hill, Joy Reid, April Ryan. I just was listening to her take on everything, and it's just a space for Black journalists to come, pay their dues, and just to not only be acknowledged by their peers, but also just a safe space to just come together and, you know, commute and learn things, and also helping mentoring the people coming up. It's a huge deal. They decided to invite Donald Trump to come and speak at their convention. One of their panels, they wanted him to come and speak. Now, it's a choice. I'm not completely sure if it started off that it was supposed to be a debate, but all I know for sure is that Donald Trump was invited, and I remember that day on Twitter, everyone was like, what is going on? Like, everybody was upset. Now, they tried to come back and say that it was about journalistic integrity, yada yada, hearing both sides, which is also another discussion we need to have as Black people. Why we always have a space for both sides to talk when there's no spaces for us to talk, but hey, whatever. So that was like a firestorm on my Twitter timeline of just like, why are they letting this man come up on the stage and do this? So that happened. Then it seemed like, I don't know if they always were gonna contact Kamala, but it felt like a last ditch effort to kind of save her or like fix everything. So I guess they had reached out to Kamala to see if she could attend to make it a debate, or at least to get like talk to her as well. She couldn't be there because of course she's having to work double overtime for her campaign that she didn't have. She only has about 4 or less months to do. And she said, well, I can't be there. Can I zoom in? And they said no. They would not allow her to zoom in, which is also problematic and very interesting considering it's the Black National Association for Black Journalists. Why would you not platform a Black VP that's now possibly
the only Black nominee that's running?
Choices were made. So that happened. So there was also a firestorm off of that. And they were like, okay, so why is this happening? Come to the day of the event, it starts late. Now, Trump and his team were trying to say, right. But the thing is, it wasn't because of the Black journalists. Trump was trying to say that it was because of technical difficulties by the NABJ.
I remember, yes. Mm-hmm.
But really, it was the fact that they wanted to have an actual fact checker live because, of course, and he was arguing with them down for 30 minutes and was like, no, I'm not going to do it unless if you have this fact checker. Not only were they late, but they also like acquiesced and they didn't have the fact checker. So before we get into just even those thoughts on that, he actually did come on the stage and was asked questions by a really beautiful journalist that was really great. Like she came, you know, had some really great answers, you know, like normal answers that a journalist should ask. Mm-hmm. And he literally turned it around, talked about how it's ridiculous that she didn't even say good morning or hello before she asked the question.
God damn, bro. He is funny. I wish I didn't find him as funny as I do.
It's crazy because it don't feel like real life. You know, like, it's just like, is this really happening? And it's actually funny because I saw Pete Davidson was talking about how Trump really doesn't know how to read for real and was like talking about that. And ever since I've seen this video, I'm going to put it in the group chat for us so we could put it in. It makes sense, even how he answered this question. Like, he's not there. He's literally that's why he says the same thing over and over. He's literally like saying things that like may sound okay, but with no actual factual base, because he's not even probably reading speeches before he gets up there. He's just making stuff up as he goes. But anyway, it's crazy. So anyway,
Yeah.
so all that to say, Trump, of course, like showed his behind, basically validated all the naysayers who said he shouldn't have been there, and basically just was racist, passive aggressive. It's just terrible. We'll show some clips because I've only just seen the clips. I'm not gonna sit and watch the whole thing. Marz,
Right.
how did you feel when you first heard about this? What was your response?
I felt the exact same way. I was like, there's no way that this is actual real life. Like, we're living in the boondocks. But, sorry, I had to plug in the charger. I really only have thoughts when it comes to the hearing the both sides aspect, because why do we have to?
Yeah.
Why? There's this Twitter account that I follow. I'll find their name. They're very popular. They've been there forever, like staple Black Twitter. And they had a similar sentiment where it's like, just saying, like if someone says, oh, we should invite so-and-so, you can say no, and someone says why, and it's like, because that guy sucks, and that can be enough. That should be enough at this point. And, you know, NABJ or whoever was involved in making that decision can justify it however they need to justify it. I think what they assume was going to be the result is that it was going to be a slam dunk. Like, oh, you're in a room of all these Black journalists, you know, we're grilling you, we're getting blah, 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 blah. No, it's always this is his deliberate choice to make a mockery of all things that involve this democracy. Yeah. He is doing it on purpose. It is always on purpose. At no point is he going to slip up or, like, he's saying it all out loud. What is there to catch him on? He deliberately lies on purpose. Like, I think they assumed it was just going to be a slam dunk. And so when it wasn't, like, now we have to, like, backpedal and backtrack. So, yeah, I think moving forward, we should continue to question the people that feel that we need to keep lines of communication open for people that deliberately want to remove your existence.
Yes.
Why do you want to or feel that you need to speak to those people at this point?
I'm just flabbergasted. I think, like, I hope that the respectable elite, especially of Black communities, understand that no amount of money is going to stop the fascism from coming and expelling you first. Nothing's gonna stop it. They keep trying to do this stuff like, oh, I'm gonna be the better person, and oh, well, even if they don't act right, this is how it's supposed to be. But yet, all this is, you're saying this, and in the background, they are actively trying to get cops to have immunity. Do you understand what that means? It's like, at some point, people just don't need to be heard. Sorry about it. Like, at some point, the rhetoric that you're saying is not conducive to the overall well-being of society. And the fact that they thought that they could do it is alarming. But also, there's a lot of questions there. I feel like I want to know who's funding everything, because I'm realizing with a lot of these Black media groups or pages, there's always like a conservative in the back, like bankrolling it. So I really need to know who made a decision, who's been funding NABJ besides the patrons that are paying their dues, because something's not adding up to me. It just feels kind of weird. And it's just kind of like, at this point, like, April Ryan, I was listening to her talk to Karen Hunter on her YouTube show. It's actually really good. I've been trying to see what the auntie's talking about, you know. And April Ryan was saying that, like, a lot of these Black journalists that are a part of NABJ have been persecuted and, like, victimized by Trump. Like, had a lot of their, like, Trump supporters that have sent death threats, tried to, attack them. So definitely, like, and it's just like, where's our protection? And I feel like that's so valid. Like, when are you going to protect the people that are paying your dues, right? Like, paying so that you can stay in organization. It's a slap in the face. It's not a safe space like it was before. And I'm interested to see who's funding it, who was the decision makers, if the Trump administration paid for access because they knew how their their ratings with black people are in the dumps, and they know that with Kamala being the first black woman president, there's actually no shot of getting the black representation. I mean, we see what happened with Obama. It was like, it was crazy, you know. Granted, it was the first of its kind to happen, but they know they're losing, and so right. I'd be interested to see if there was like a healthy paycheck given to NABJ for the monstrosity that happened that day.
I will be looking in, and
yeah, let's do the research, because like that was just deplorable. There's nothing you could really say to do that, and I agree with you. Like this whole both sides thing, like the other side never feels they have to do that ever. Actually, they think they're entitled to not, and that their way is the right way. When are we going to advocate for ourselves and stop trying to like help our oppressors to further oppress us? So yeah, that's how I feel on.
But also one final thought. The people that they are inviting to the RNC or the whatever Republican, whatever rallies they're doing are coons, if there are black people present.
Yeah.
So just put that into perspective.
So, all right. So now we're going to talk about femininity and TERFs. Ooh, Marz, what are TERFs? What's going on, friend? What is this?
So, short definition, spawns of Satan, literal bastards. But the actual literal translation, it's an acronym for Trans Exclusionary Radical Feminists. What that means is they are a group of cis women that exist, and they're everywhere. And unfortunately, it's not just cis women anymore, it's cis men. It's a growing community of people, even though the men think that they're doing what they believe is feminism, which, LOL. But they're a group of people that believe that, you know, just trans women aren't real women, trans people aren't real people. They stick to the binary, blah, blah, blah. They don't believe in the whole pronouns and all that bullshit. So one of the loudest members of this community, at least over the past decade, at least, would be none other than J.K. Rowling, award-winning Pulitzer Prize, I'm sure, New York Times best-selling author of Harry Potter and every other iteration spin-off of that universe. So if you've been unaware for the past several years as to what she's been up to post Harry Potter, it's this. It's going online for hours and hours on end, just allowing trans women to live in the deepest recesses of her brain, rent-free, which in this economy I would say is a bargain, and just is relentless, and any little crumb she can gather to continue to spew hate towards trans women, she will find it and latch onto it. So most recently, as we said, we are currently recording while the Olympics is on. This week, one of the wildest stories, but not an uncommon story, because this has happened to an athlete before. A fighter, a boxer by the name of, is it Imane Khelief?
It's her first name spelled Imane, so I was going with Imane.
Imane Khelief, from Algeria. Excuse me. An Olympian, came to represent her country, which again, just gonna keep repeating the fact that this is the Olympics. Went into a fight with a young woman by the name, can you remind me her name? That she was fighting with that started this whole thing?
I think her name was Alexis or something.
Someone from Team Italy. A fighter that was representing Italy.
I'll look it up real quick.
And they fought. They only got so far in the fight because the young woman from Team Italy thought, this girl punched me way too hard. She's not a girl. And then proceeded to put on an entire, which the internet, I don't know who exactly, but I've seen this term being floated around. Her comments about her fight with Imane led a transvestigation into Imane. that was probably incredibly demoralizing, dehumanizing, because she led the general public to believe that Imane was not just trans. Because it would be, not that it makes it okay, but it would be different if she were saying that she is a trans person. She was saying that she is a man that is pretending to be a woman specifically to hurt women. That's not what that's not what this fighter is saying. But this is what the conversation has now become. Yeah. So not only has it taken her personhood, her womanhood, but it has made her to believe that she is out to just simply abuse women. When, mind you, we are at the world competition strongest puncher competition. Mm-hmm. We are at who punches the hardest event 1. And she said, she punched me too hard. Somebody need to look into this. Honestly, I feel like I should sue. So I'm going to stop there, and then you just let me know, up until at least this point, what you've seen. What was your reaction?
Yeah, I saw the first tweet that explained that her name is, the boxer's name is, shoot, I just had it. Sorry, hold on. The boxer's name is Angela Carini from Italy. So Angela was crying, and that, of course, they always show that, which is also just very much like a signal of like, this is interesting, a white woman crying over something. But basically, yeah, I saw the tweet where it was saying that she was claiming that that Imane was a man, or that she was trans, or no, I think it was more so that she was intersex. I think they were trying to push that narrative at first.
Gotcha.
But then it was also the correction of she is an intersex, and that she just has higher testosterone levels. And when I saw that, I just immediately saw the red flag of how this is going to go back to the whole trans people in sports conversation that it's always, especially blown up in America with the state of how things are now. And it was really infuriating because I feel like it's more than coincidental that this conversation always comes up with women of color. And we never sit down and vilify the white women from these different countries who are actually using different steroids to be better that they don't find out about till a couple years later or something. But when it comes to black women just existing, and even if it is a trans person, like, I just feel like we got to stop this. And I think at some point, if we're not going to educate the masses on gender and what that looks like, then you need to allow for people to just exist and stop vilifying them for existing. Because it's transphobic. And at the end of the day, it hurts all of us. It just made me think of, like, the discussion we've had of when black cis straight women or black cis women get upset being called cis. And being called cisgendered, and they get really upset about that. And I'm like, trying to push yourself away from trans women isn't going to stop other demographics from calling you a man. Being a black woman, you're going to be called a man. So instead of vilifying trans women and trying to push away and not give support and be like, oh, I'm not them, this is what happens. You get discussions like this. This is what you get. For her to make it in her sport in Algeria, do you honestly think that she wouldn't have been vilified by now? Like, she's been tested. She's Muslim. Like, there are trans Muslim people. I'm not saying that it's not possible. You can, like, but at the same time, like, why are you putting her in harm's way? Why are you putting out this narrative of her? It's giving Islamophobic. It's giving racist. It's giving transphobic. It's giving all the things. At some point, like, when are we going to stop? Now she's having to prove that she is a woman and, like, having that debate when really the debate should be, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It matters that you're a good competitor. Now, watching the tape of what's her name, Angela, it was 46 seconds.
It was quick.
She didn't even have a chance, even if she wanted to. Like, she just wasn't good.
You made your match, Debo.
you met your match. That blow could have happened with anybody. But again, it's the thing that we deal with here in America of no matter what, because you're black, it's going to be more loopholes and hoops you have to get through to be seen as a good competitor just for who you are. Just because of how hard you work. But now we have the layer of transphobia on top of that. I need this to be a call for especially black cis women to stand behind their black trans sisters and actually support instead of trying to disassociate, because you will be called a man regardless. Now, how are we going to do that? We have to dismantle the binary as it stands. And yeah, sorry, that's how I felt about it, because it infuriates me, because it's getting black trans women killed at the end of the day. Like, they're being unalived at the end of the day because of this rhetoric. Y'all have to stop. Y'all have to stop.
When this is a direct response to transphobia.
Yeah.
When you're getting to the point where we're having to look at people's fucking zygotes, and I don't know biology, but like when it's getting to that point to decide who is and who isn't, bro, no one's fucking safe. Me, as someone who was assigned female at birth, I cannot reproduce. I grow facial hair. I have a deeper voice. I have a larger body. What is stopping someone from saying, no, that's a man? What is stopping from someone from saying that? The guidelines on what is and is not a woman, like, this is only the tip of the iceberg. It's going to get so much worse, and it only results in black trans death, number one, and two, legislation onto basically someone sticking a magnifying glass up your ass to identify what you are. It's going to get to that point. And everyone's kikiing right now, but I mean, it's just so foolish. It's just so foolish.
It's really foolish because, like you said, like, there's going to be a moving goalpost. It depends on that type of day and how that white man is feeling of what he thinks a woman should and should not be. At some point, if we do not hold these things accountable, what is stopping you from being unalived because they deem you to not be woman enough? Ask our ancestors. Some of them were deemed not woman enough. So at some point, like, it's really frustrating because it's not even just like an issue of like looking a certain way or whatever. Like, it's life or death. And it's giving men especially a license to unalive innocent human beings. Innocent kids are being thrown out of their houses because of, they're not man enough, they're not woman enough, they got too much testosterone. And granted, with the Olympics, it's about eugenics anyway. Like, at the end of the day, it's like trying to get the fittest of the fit, and like, I only want you because you have this and this, like, to compete for this country that doesn't even really uphold your values or help you as a person anyway. But yeah, it's actually dehumanizing. It's terrible. And whenever you attack the most marginalized, it always comes to bite you back later. So you might as well start advocating now.
Literally every single time. And what nobody wants to hear, especially the black TERFs, is this all circles back to racism, diva.
Yes.
You think you're over here reinventing the wheel? You think you're a radical fucking feminist, bitch? When you're watering down feminism to be who is visibly feminine. Femininity being dainty, being smaller in frame. All of a sudden, it's also, who's paler, do you know what, like, there's nothing radical about what any of you are doing. It is you are so following the book that they want you to follow. Play by fucking play.
Yeah, it's actually disheartening because, like, I had recently found out that Alice Walker was a TERF. Is a TERF. Sorry, she's still alive. Is a TERF. Maya Angelou was a TERF. Yeah, that one hurt me. And
took psychic damage with that one.
You know what I'm saying? And it's crazy, like, with our elders especially, how like they'll stop at a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, activists fighting for black women, fighting for blackness, lesbianism even, and then it stops. And I'm like, but why can't we get over the other hump? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if it's
I don't know if it's the time period. I don't know if it's the idea of God, because both. I feel like both women do have an understanding of God and Jesus to a degree. I don't know. It's frustrating because it's like, why can't we just accept people as people? Why is it like a different type of person, just because they kind of are similar to you in some ways doesn't mean that they're gonna take your spot or like make it harder for you. It's weird. I'm not understanding how a person existing as the trans woman that they are is hurting you. If anything, the rights they get, you get. The body autonomy, abortion rights, like being able to do whatever you want with your body. Like, trans women deserve that, so you'll get that if you fight for trans women as well. I don't understand.
And the gag is that because again, everything goes back to racism and white supremacy. This is like almost like an exact parallel to the whole like DEI thing, where a certain group of people, I won't say them, but they weren't white, had a very strong amount of things to say about DEI hires or affirmative action, and felt that they were deliberately being passed up because black people are given certain jobs or given certain acceptances to the schools that they feel that they should have gotten into. Maybe you just weren't good enough.
Yeah.
And that is the mother problem.
Yeah.
You can't swallow the possibility that you just aren't good enough.
Yeah. And that there's other powers that be that are affecting you from success, and it's not.
And
black.
You think it's us. You think it's trans people. You think it's black people. But it's just crazy. You.
But it's wild too, because friend, when you think about it, black people make up 14% of the population. Trans women,
in America,
how much of the population do trans women really take up? They don't take up much space. Why are trans women such a threat to your existence, survival, anything? It's weird. It's giving weird. It's giving obsession. It's giving weird. Yeah, that's how I feel about it, honestly. Yeah. I'm just tired. I'm upset, because at what point are we going to stop this? At what point are we going to stop?
Well, to give us an at least shining light at the end of this specific tunnel, because there is a, I don't know if Casa Semenya, was she in the Olympics when that went down?
Let's see. Last year, let's see. Caster Semenya Olympics. Let's see. So she wasn't at this one. Oh, wow, she's 29.
They be so young, I'd be forgetting.
You know what I'm saying? Okay, so she has been barred from playing, or from competing, I'm sorry, because of the rule change based on her testosterone levels. She's had 2 failed appeals in the highest court in 2019. Yeah, so she's still fighting. She may have been in the last... No, she wasn't, because that was 2019, so she hasn't been in the last 2 Olympics because of this. So she's losing time, yeah.
That's what I had assumed had happened. So I was going to say, unlike what happened in Castor's case, who is someone who actually ended up being intersex, they were trying to put that label onto Imane, but that's not the case for her genetic makeup. She just naturally produces more testosterone. Happens with a lot of women. Like I said, me personally, deeper voice, acrofacial hair. It happens. It happens. But in Imane's case, so because she had to go through all of that testing that the Olympics required her to go through, and whomever, and everyone was found out to be liars because they just created an entire fucking narrative for this person saying that she was born a man. Literally, I could cry. It makes me so angry.
Yeah.
But in her case, she was vindicated because y'all literally made that up. You pulled that out of your ass. And she spoke out and said that she is going after everyone that had something to say. So JK, better make sure those pockets are looking nice, sweetie. Logan Paul was another someone that was very loud.
Really?
Elon Musk, very, very loud. Lots of publications. I believe the Daily Mail put out something in a complete headline that was incredibly false. Completely and utterly false. So, yeah, she's suing. And I couldn't be more grateful because a lot of you need to be made an example of. I know for at least people like probably J.K. Rowling, maybe Logan Paul will probably be fine. I don't know how much money he makes. I know that he has his pocket in Prime, which is why I deliberately avoid that that energy drink. Yeah, he invested in it way back when. And so I don't know if he still makes money from it. I don't know if he sold the company, but he might be fine. Let's just say. But the reality is, an example still needs to be made out of you fucks because wishing you the worst isn't enough anymore. I need a gun. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do. You are the lowest form of society, in my opinion. If you can go out of your way to participate and, in JK's case and Elon Musk's case, lead a campaign that is denying someone their personhood and creating an entirely false reality, you deserve whatever litigation comes towards you, but also this needs to be like I was so grateful that she didn't just do the humble athlete thing, which is just accept the apology and just try and move forward and no, we're not letting bygones be bygones anymore. We're not turning any other goddamn cheeks. No, we're not. So I'm so glad. I'm so glad that she's going out of her way to ensure that all, and everyone is like in her replies being like, make sure you get this person, and putting all of their ads, and they're like, I have screenshots and this person, because everyone's tweets are suddenly gone. JK has doubled down. JK Rowling has doubled down.
Of course she has.
She has never been wrong a day in her life. But with Logan, they have all, like, I don't know if Elon Musk has. I think I couldn't bother to go on his Twitter account. But at least in Logan's case, I did see that he walked it back to a certain degree, but it was still like with a passive aggressive, like, oh, there are certain things that have come to light that say that I might have misreported this. Report? Who are you? The fucking Associated Press? Who the fuck are you to report fucking anything? You fucking jabroni. I hate these people. I hate you guys. And that's the crux of this conversation, is I just wanted to be able to get on camera and just tell you guys how much I hate you. If at some point, some way, somehow, this crosses a TERF's timeline, just know that I hate you and I want you to. I don't think you can say that on Twitter. Not Twitter. I don't think you can say that on YouTube. Maybe bleep it. I'm going to give producer Miles artistic integrity with that one.
Right, exactly.
But do with that quote what you will, but I mean it, and I couldn't be more serious. You guys are demons. You deserve nothing good. I hope you meet your fate, whatever that may be, in the most painful way possible. And then in the afterlife, I hope you are inflicted more pain upon.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Yeah, I think there's no place for TERFs, TERF adjacents. A lot of the black community who are like subscribing to TERF rhetoric, the male TERFs, hoteps, all y'all, like, it just needs to stop.
You silly freaking people. You're buying into the exact thing that they're selling, which is making femininity be something that is white, that is what is it? Fragile.
Like, yeah.
And it's all the things that most black women are not. So what does that leave us? Do the fucking math. I don't know. We can't think for you.
You can't. I don't know what it's going to take. Most of the time it's usually too late because we always think that we're not that demographic or we don't have to worry or whatever until it affects us. J.K. Rowling, like, her commitment to trans women suffering is just, like, so crazy to me because, like, she really it's like her life's work. Like, you've created a whole franchise. You could literally just be quiet and make all this money, but you go out of your way. But yeah, honestly, like, J.K. Rowling, like, I don't understand where this hatred has come from. I don't know what you're afraid of, because at the end of the day, it's always like fear. There's always like an underlying fear.
Yeah, it's literally phobia.
because you literally could be doing anything else, but you get Twitter fingers and get on. But like, you would never confront a trans woman. I know you wouldn't. So not in real life.
No.
So,
but if you had, you wouldn't know, Diva. I'm so sorry. You're not clocking. You're not.
That's what I'm saying.
You're not clocking.
If anything, anyone could like clock her, to be honest. Like, that's what's gonna happen. That's what's gonna happen. Men, people will use the very thing you're using against trans women onto you, and that's how it happens, friend. Because you don't look the most youthful. Like, I don't.
You thought you were fish. You thought you were fish until it gets to that point. They be thinking they safe over there in the UK. You're spreading it everywhere, Diva. It is a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. Excuse me.
So I need our elders to just, if they ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, because you're not adding to the conversation.
What happened to that?
They just want us to be quiet, that's all. But it didn't work.
But it's so sad in her case because it's not sad, she's just delusional, but she so truly believes that she's correct. I am going to send a picture to the group chat. Miles put that in. There is a theory that people believe that J.K. Rowling has mold growing in her house.
Mold?
Mold.
Mold?
And that's why they think she's crazy.
I think so too. I mean, it would make sense, but then also, like, you're a billionaire or about to, like, you're making upwards to crazy millions of dollars. What?
I'll throw the picture. Yeah. You guys feel how you want to feel. You make your own conclusions about that.
I'm flabbergasted. Same. Yeah, I guess with TERFs, like, I want y'all to seek help, because at the end of the day, it's just hurting others. I wanted to give remembrance to a trans woman that passed or was potentially murdered yesterday. Let me make sure I get it right. So there's a tweet that was put out that was saying rest in peace to Femgirl Vixen, a trans woman who was shot several times inside a downtown Houston apartment complex. They're not sure she lived there, but they know she was trans. So it just makes me sad because it's just like going into the depths of this. It's like stories like this, like, is sobering. It's just like, this is what it's about. Like, Black trans women especially being targeted, and this rhetoric only leads to that. So, if you're thinking transphobic thoughts, even if you don't even mean to, just like really evaluate that, where it comes from, and hopefully knowing that it's actively unaliving and giving people an excuse to murder trans women. I hope that brings up something in you to stop. But yeah, I'm gonna send this to Miles and put it in the chat so that we can honor her and hope that this just stops, because it's sick, it's dangerous, and it's not funny at all. So
yeah, rest in power to her, absolutely. And just one final closing thought for anyone that may catch this that may not have fully drinking the Kool-Aid as far as TERFs and transphobia goes, and you are a cis woman or a cis man and you found this and you don't fully believe, specifically cis Black women I'm speaking to, okay? Let's come to the front. Know that this does not, cannot, and will not ever serve you. If you are somehow found your way down the TERF pipeline, and you're someone who is typically, they would be, into the hotepetry and all that, and you find yourself so pro-Black, let me give you this humbling, sobering reality that you are deliberately and directly following white supremacist ideology. That's all it is, just in a different costume. So for the sake of at least your own people, if you can't think on behalf of trans women, Black trans women that are losing their lives senselessly every day, and you can't humanize them, at least remember that this playbook is not new. You are following it word for word, bar for bar. And it's embarrassing, honestly. So sit with that.
Amen. Thank you, friend. Please sit with that. Sit with that. So yeah. So all right, y'all. So that's the end of our episode for today. Thank you so much for listening. Please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend. Like, I feel like telling a friend to tell a friend, word of mouth always works out. So please just let people know what you're watching. And yeah, we'll see y'all next week. Bye.